Welcome back to Our Community. Susie Thomas visiting with Jill Sullivan and Nancy Malacaria from Gwen's House and multitude of prison ministries. Jill, through Faith Family, you oversee how many campuses?
We currently have 9 prison campuses. Our church has the awesome opportunity with the state of Ohio to actually plant our local church within the correctional facility.
So this isn't just something that is a on-the-side prison ministry. This is almost a focus area, it sounds like.
I believe this is a huge focus area for Faith Family Church. Part of their vision is to go and reach people far from God, and there's a high emphasis on reaching people who are incarcerated.
There are probably others, listening to you two being called for different reasons, but you both benefited from someone reaching out to you, and now you're paying that forward. There's probably somebody listening saying, this is the area I have not ministered in. I've followed what I've been called to do, but I have not ministered in the area of where Jesus tells us to speak to the prisoner, reach out to the prisoner. And here's an opportunity, and it's kind of lighting a fire in somebody. What can they do?
So if you feel called to prison ministry, Faith Family Church, we definitely do a lot of ministry within the correctional facilities, from men to women to juveniles. So if you feel called, come on out and, meet with someone at our connection centers. We would love to give you more information.
What happens? How do you get trained to walk into a prison and meet with? That sounds intimidating, to say the least.
For every facility, there's a different training. So whether you're going into the county or you're going into a state facility, every single facility looks different, kind of has its own personality, has a different training. And so it would just be, depending on what your availability was and where you wanted to go, we would connect you with that training.
Are there certain qualities that fit the person who does this kind of ministry that you're looking for more than maybe other types of ministry?
I think faithfulness, people that really care about people, and people that are faithful, and people that have a submissive heart to the vision, with just following what it is that our pastor has on his heart to do.
Mm-hmm. I would think probably non-judgmental probably is up there, right? Does that matter?
I think you don't learn all of that till you start going. Yeah. I think every time we take a new person and we get them ready for that experience, because it sounds so intimidating to go into prison.
It does.
They're used to watching Orange is the New Black and movies, and they just have a certain vision in their head. And I say, no, this is really a beautiful campus these ladies have up here. And you just need to go up and see how you feel about it. On the van ride back, the first thing we'd love to do is interview those first-timers and say, okay, how did this meet up with your expectations? Mm-hmm. How did you feel about it? And they're like, well, it's nothing like what I expected, and I just love the ladies, and they're just so welcoming and receptive. And the women in prison are so appreciative that we are faithful, that no matter what the weather, the rain's going sideways, and everybody's told to stay home, we still persevere and we show up holidays, Monday holidays. It doesn't matter. We show up. And that really just speaks volumes to them, because they're used to people promising them things and not showing up and not being people of their word. So right there, before we even tell them any verse from the Bible, they go, wait a minute, these are real people. They don't think they're better than us. And they're showing up week after week. So that alone has spoken to them. And now we just have such a tremendous close relationship with these ladies.
The whole idea, obviously, of being incarcerated is being cut off and singled out and pulled away from your life to be rehabilitated. But it must make a person feel completely cut off from family and friends and so forth. Talk about their lives there.
Well, some actually come from very good families and very supportive families. It was just one, I think I'm still well enough to drive, and then you have a bad accident and you're in for...
Made a terrible mistake.
And then other ladies do come from highly dysfunctional families, and they want so much for the family to not throw them away. I remember the first time I was in one of the smaller groups, and a woman looked at me all teary-eyed. She's like, why are you here? My own grandmother will not come here to see me. She's so mad that I'm in here. Why are you here? And it was a great question because I'd never been asked it and I'd never thought about it really clearly. And I looked at her and I said, I love you because you are me. Just because being silly with men is not against the law. I went to the domestic violence shelter instead of being a lifer at prison. Yeah. I said, I just look at you and all I see is love and potential, and you're not, God does not want to throw you away. He loves you. And when I got back in the van, that was a pretty funny situation. I said, okay, I just sat with 10 ladies I've never met before. I don't know these ladies. And I'm feeling extreme, intense love and compassion and caring for these ladies. What is that? And then everyone else said, yeah, I felt that too. And then it was very simple, just realizing that we were there to be the hands and feet of Jesus, and we were getting to experience his love flowing through us.
Yes.
And what an incredible privilege and honor it was to serve those.
Well, you talk about the great equalizer. You know, as you said, just hearing you speak from all different walks of life, some from very supportive and really great families, and they just made a terrible mistake. Some dysfunctional families, and, you know, they only had bad decisions modeled for them. That's all they knew. That's their reality. And then you put them all together in one place and say, here, get better. How does that work without people like yourselves going and ministering to them? Is there some kind of, you say there's training specific to each one, but is there some kind of preparation that prepares a person to even see if this might work for them?
I honestly feel like until your boots on the ground in there and you see what's going on, like, I just feel like that, then you know you're in the right place.
Yeah.
I feel like I knew because, like Nancy had just said, I am them. So I want to be what that person was to me that came in and shared, you know, you're not the decisions that you've made. You are a child of God. Your life is not wasted. You are God's creation, his best work. And so I want to be that voice in their ear that they are worth it and that we love them.
Well, not wasted funding and helping to provide for this transitional housing. Good to know that there is housing available. Just important to know that you guys are here to be there for them. How can we help you? What do you need?
So we do have housing opportunities they're available, and there's an application and an interview process. Like I had said earlier, I believe we're a second step to other programs where people that are coming into Gwen's house are very strong in their sobriety. They're very highly motivated, and they need help getting their life back. We want to engage them with the gospel, with the local church. We want to equip them with, you know, just the things that they're going to need coming out of prison, coming out of a domestic violence situation, you know, with resourcing. We want to empower them with the resourcing. There's so much resourcing that's available here in Stark County. We kind of want to be the go-between to help connect them with those things.
Okay, and are they things? Are they tangible things? Or is it just, when you say resourcing, knowing where to go for something?
I think getting employers to hire them. I mean, some of them coming out of prison don't have clothing. You know, there's so many organizations that are set up to help women and men get clothing, get food, you know, get medical help, get education help. And I think, you know, we're networking with the community to help find those resources.
So should we, if we've got some clothing, give it to Gwen's house, or do we call Gwen's house and Gwen's house tells us where to give that clothing, and then you refer people to those places?
So when people have donated things, depending on what has been donated, we've had so much amazing donations. So our community is just so generous that if it's something that we don't need at that time, that we'll refer them to another organization that would need.
And who are we talking about as far as serving the population? Gwen's house serves people from which counties?
So right now, we are serving Stark County. So women who are transitioning back to Stark County, that right now is our heart. We don't know what it'll grow into past this point, but we're looking for women who are looking to transition into Stark County.
Okay.
Because that's where our house is located.
All right. And the the 9 prison campuses are all over the place, aren't they?
Yeah, so Faith Family Church has correctional facility campuses
yes.
All over the state of Ohio, and that just keeps growing and getting bigger.
And it is cool that they participate in worship services right along with the congregation that's in the main building. I'll just call it the main campus.
Right,
Yes,
they do. And what's so awesome about it is that, they get used to the feel of the church. So the worship, the volunteers, they see our faces as we go in, and then they get used to pastor's voice. They're hearing the same sermon series that we're hearing. Mm-hmm. They're talking to their family members about it. Their family members are either watching it on Facebook Live or coming out to Maine. And it makes them for a comfortable transition from prison into the local church.
When we're thinking about the needs of a person coming out not incarcerated any longer, what kinds of things do they need?
They need sober support. They need employers that will hire them.
Mm-hmm.
They need to have all the things that need as far as like hygiene and clothing and those sorts of things. I think just connecting them, every person's different. So you've got some people that come out that have got no family and they've got nothing. Then you've got some people, they have family that'll help meet those, specific needs. So I think it's just based on the person.
Who do we talk to find out how we best plug in?
So, you can contact us through our website, which is www.iamnotwasted.com if you have questions about connecting within the community. I think dialing 211 in our community and asking questions because that's set up to kind of connect us with the resources. They may know better what they need.
You talked about coming from a domestic violence background. You recently had a really great event called Take Back the Night. In our closing moments, can you tell us a little bit about that?
That was so fun because of my relationship with the domestic violence shelter. They approached our organization and said, would we like to participate in Take Back the Night? There were many different organizations around town. There are so many good people whose hearts are there to help people who are in different areas of need. So we got to have a craft table because they knew that Not Wasted made things.
Yes.
So I had to think of something easy that would be good for kids and adults. And I got bamboo and some twine and some leftover silverware. I went downtown to an industrial place and got washers. I went to the locksmith and got keys. And I thought, okay, I don't know quite how this is all going to go together. And I was wanting to have time to make some samples ahead of time, but its time worked out. I didn't have that. So I sat down and started to do things, and other people sat down, and there it was. People were just creating the most amazing things.
Tell me again, the 3 objects. Keys, washers.
Mostly keys, industrial washers.
Yes.
They're bigger and rustier.
All right.
Yep. And silverware, the old plated stuff that started to rust.
What did they make?
And I got bells, too, just in case those didn't make enough noise banging. I wanted to be on the safe side, so I bought a bunch of bells. And they were just hanging them in the most random patterns, and they made the most beautiful sounds, and they were celestial. And as one person would get up and walk away and start walking around down there at the cultural center, somebody else would come and go, wait a minute. I just saw that. And so by the time it was time to leave there, we had a line of people going, oh, no, I just found out about it. I wanted to do it. So, yeah, we had so much fun down there.
So cool. Well, we've covered so much territory here. I think let's leave everybody with a website where they can go for more or to just review what all we've talked about. Where do we go?
All right, you can follow us on social media. Mm-hmm. So on Facebook, you can follow us at Gwen's House. And then on Instagram, we are Gwen's House 501c3. And then our website is www.iamnotwasted.com.
Jill and Nancy, thank you so much for all you do in our community.
Thank you, Susie.
Thank you.
Thank you for what you do.